I'm going to recognize Councilor Duff for our prayer and our pledge today. We need to hear you.
You got me?
Got you.
Thank you, Governor. I'd like to offer a prayer of safety and to all of those in the western part of the country that are suffering from these horrific wildfires, and for all the firefighters and volunteers that are fighting these fires right now. As someone who lived in California many, many years ago, it's just beyond what I think most of us can imagine, and it's terrifying. So a prayer of safety for them and a prayer of thanks for their work. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
United States of America.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under
God, indivisible,
liberty and justice for all.
For all.
Thank you.
Thank you. I recognize Councilor Iannella for a motion to record advice and consent for the financial warrant.
So moved, Governor.
Second.
In favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I recognize Councilor Ferrer for a motion to record advice and consent for the pending list of various public injustices of the peace.
So moved, Governor. Second.
Do we have Councilor Jubenville?
He was here for a moment and then he cut out. I'm not sure what happened.
I'm going to text him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking for his number. We pause so that he's available to participate in the advice and consent.
No answer.
It's hard to believe we didn't notice right away.
What do you mean, Terry?
He was on earlier and then he wasn't on. I'm not sure why that happened, though. I'm sorry, Lieutenant
I
Governor.
texted him, so.
I can try and call him and put him in on my line.
I just called him. He didn't answer.
Okay, does anyone from Governor's Council office have any information regarding Councilor Jubenville's participation today?
No.
I would make a motion that
Because the time
allow him to
changed,
be
so I just want to be.
contacted.
Go ahead, Councilor Hurley.
I would move that we allow him an hour to be contacted and record his vote. Is there a second?
I don't understand the motion. You want to let him record after we're done with the assembly, Mary?
Yes.
My only concern with that is if that's going to now be a precedent. I mean, I'm very close to Bob, and what's next week? A 3-hour wait, a 4, a 1 day? I have a problem with that.
Fine.
I don't have a problem
All right.
with 10 minutes, but I wouldn't.
I don't have a problem with 10 minutes.
We can wait 10 minutes.
All right, 10 minutes.
And have the vote, but
I amend my motion to 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mary.
I'll second that.
Whatever you have. Do you need it right now?
so are we
All
going
in favor?
10 minutes to see if we get him?
He's not answering.
He's probably in court. He may have messed up the time because of the time change. That's the only concern I have.
The Governor's Council meeting now. So I can hear you.
Is this on Zoom too?
It is, and everyone can see you, at least your name. And we're about
He didn't
to
like you and I, Terry.
ask for your advice and consent for an appointment, and I didn't want to do that without you.
Well, thank you very much. Should I go on this or can I just do this?
Which
Okay.
would you like to proceed?
Let's,
On the Zoom.
Why don't we wait and have you come on the Zoom?
Okay, is there some sort of meeting number or else?
Yes, we're going to text that to you right now.
All right, thank you.
So,
Hey, Terry.
Well, I'm glad you answered my call.
Yeah, Terry, how do we feel? He takes the LG's call and not us.
Obviously, you know who's,
That's no problem.
jeez.
Ah,
that spoke volumes.
I'm gonna go home.
hey, Chris, make sure you tell Bob what I did for the motion.
I'll tell him.
And I have no objection.
Don't tell him I oppose. Don't tell him I oppose. I'm kidding.
I won't. I
I'm going
won't.
to oppose now.
While we're waiting, this is Marilyn. I just want to agree with Counselor Iannella that, 15 hours before, to change 15 hours before, this is a public assembly. We put this on our website for the public. This is not public access for us to have this like 15 hours before a change. And I can understand why Counselor Juvenville might have not got the message.
He was here and we lost him.
He's coming on, Mary.
Okay.
Hurry up, we're cutting into Joe's golf time.
Thank you. You guys look very sharp with your ties on and everything, though. You guys are like going to court or something like that?
Was already in court
Wow, I'm impressed.
on Zoom.
I go to court once a year, if that, Joe.
Unmute.
Okay. We have Councilor Juvenville. I'm so happy to see you.
Sorry, I caused a delay.
I want to know, hey, Bob, why didn't you answer my call?
Because
I called
was
you
on-
4
I was
times.
I was on a court Zoom hearing.
All right, all right.
Council Juvenville be allowed to record his advice and consent with respect to the financial warrant and notaries that we already took a vote on.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Councilor Kennedy. I'm going to move on to item number 3 on our agenda and ask Councilor Devaney for a motion to record advice and consent for the appointment of Tamara Lee Ricciardone to the Industrial Accident Board to a term expiring on May 29, 2025.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Before I do that, I'd like to ask you respectfully that the council adjourn with a silent prayer for those who were killed in 9/11. I'm going to present a different type of statement. I think it's important to be put in the record for the integrity of the council and to have it documented. I will make the motion now. We've a wonderful nominee, Tamara Lee Ricciardone, and I will make that motion, and after it's second, I will make my statement.
Second.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Lieutenant Governor, I believe it is important to place on file in the Governor's Council office circumstances regarding the appointment of Tamara Lee Ricciardone, the Industrial Accident Board. First, it should be said up front, Attorney Ricciardone is the most qualified nominee for the Industrial Accident Board that has been presented in my 21 years. I just want to recap. The Governor's letter of August 19, 2020 advised us that he was appointing Tamara Ricciardone to a term expiring on May 29, 2025, an 8-year, 4-month term. He referenced in his letter that it was pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 23E, Section 4. This was incorrect. Without exception, pursuant to Mass General Law, every nominee is appointed to the Industrial Accident Board for 6 years. I submitted a letter to the governor requesting a correction of the date of expiration of Tamara Ricciardone's term. Today, September 9, 2020, the governor submitted a letter to the council correcting the term of years for Tamara Ricciardone to expire on September 9, 2026. Thank you, Governor Baker. I provided, for the record, the language of Mass General Law, Chapter 3, Section 4, at Attorney Ricciardone's hearing. And in the letter to the governor, I quote, "Where the governor, with advice and consent of executive council, has the statutory authority to appoint and reappoint administrative judges and administrative law judges for a term of 6 years pursuant to Mass General Law C-23E, Section 4 and 5. I do want to note, this is so unusual, that I received, and the council received, a letter a year ago, more than a year ago. It was dated January 17, 2019, last year, from former Chief Counsel Lon Povich. And it was from the Workmen's Compensation Advisory Council, who determined Tamara Ricciardone qualified. Although she was recommended January 2019, she was not appointed. I am pleased that she applied again. She has the qualifications, experience, the demeanor, empathy, and compassion that I look for. Now, for the integrity of the council, I have included some other things in my statement that are going to be put in the council record. In any way. Oh, excuse me. I have to hold on. I'm sorry. Thank you for your patience. Okay. I think for the integrity of the council that I am going to document this, and it will be in the council office, okay? And first of all, we have to go back and clarify what happened with a former nominee, and it has to be documented. We had someone who was not reappointed, and you all have a letter, and it says on January 21 that Judge Harnais withdrew her reappointment for the Industrial Accident Board. In another letter dated the next day, the 22nd of January, saying that the governor has also withdrawn her appointment. There had been many complaints about Judge Sabine Harnais. By right, she should have been removed much earlier in her term, as some councilors have agreed. And I will repeat what I referred at the hearing. I think it should be documented in our office. I gave an example of why there were complaints of her outrageous and disrespectful demeanor when people were presented at her hearing. Judge Harnais repeatedly at her hearing, she just said she couldn't remember. This is one example, and I presented it at the council. An extremely injured worker appeared before Judge Harnais. she spotted a pregnant woman and asked if this was his wife. He replied, yes. Judge Hurley replied, if you can do that, you can work. That one complaint should have resulted in her removal. There was no legal reason for her to be continued as a judge after she withdrew and the governor withdrew her. And it is especially egregious that she continued to collect a salary since January 21, 2020, when she withdrew that day. During this pandemic, there are millions of people out of work, some never getting their job back. She did not deserve to receive this favor. I am very pleased to recommend Tamara Ricciardone. I met with her for 4 hours. I was very impressed. She is not a political appointment. She was previously bypassed in January 2019 after she was deemed qualified by the Workmen's Compensation Council. She has outstanding experience, 28 years working on workmen's compensation, which included being head of a firm, and has extensive knowledge about environmental health and safety. She has an outstanding resume. Her witnesses spoke highly of her and have observed her work for more than 2 decades. Chief Omar Hernandez spoke at the hearing and had high praise, as Tamara is well known coming before the Industrial Accident Board. Again, I thank Tamara for reapplying. I am proudly voting for Tamara Lee Ricciardone for a 6-year term expiring on September 9, 2026. She will be joining a board of people who are all highly respected. Respectfully submitted, Marilyn M. Petito Devaney. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. This is an important document that should be filed. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me just reiterate the motion, Councilor Jubenville.
Could I say something, please?
Yes, please.
I did raise this issue a few weeks ago on Judge Hurley. And I have come to the conclusion that as much as I like Judge Hernandez, and I do like him and I respect him, I think it was his duty to notify the governor's office and take necessary steps to remove her. But that wasn't done. So we're here. That's been done. We're here to vote on this new person to take over. She's a wonderful candidate. And I think this issue will be resolved very shortly and probably won't happen again. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Jubenville. The motion is to record advice and consent for the appointment of Tamara Lee Ricciardone to the Industrial Accident Board to a term expiring on September 9, 2026. Is there a second?
Second.
We may begin the roll call.
Councilor Jubenville?
Yes.
Councilor Devaney?
Yes.
Councilor Iannella?
Yes.
Councilor Duff?
Yes.
Councilor Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilor Hurley?
Yes.
Councilor Ferrer?
Yes.
7-0.
Okay, thank you. We have 3 nominations today. Michelle D. Fentress has been nominated to the position of Associate Justice of the District Court. That's within District Councilor Iannella. Do you have a date?
I'm going to speak with the nominee and we'll get a date later in the week.
Okay. We have Robert W. Harnais has been nominated to the position of Associate Justice of the District Court. That's also within your district, Councilor Iannella.
Same thing. I'll get back to everyone this week. Thanks.
Okay. And Patrick M. Haggan has been nominated to the position of Associate Justice of the Superior Court. Councilor Duff, that's within your district.
Thank you, Governor. I'd like to schedule the 16th for 10 a.m.
Okay, September 16th, 10 a.m. it is. Okay, thank you very much for your time today. At the request of Councilor Devaney, we are going to close our assembly with a moment of silence for those individuals who perished on September 11th in memory of them and in thoughtful prayer of their families. Thank you. That concludes our business today. Be safe, be well. Thank you.
You too. You too.
Thank you.
Governor.